Welcome, fellow doggers, friends, and fans, to another edition of Off the Hook here on BigDawg Music Radio. Produced and directed by Lisa Day. Each week we like to get together and spin some fabulous tunes by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com and get to know one of our fantastic culture warriors who will be joining us in about 15 minutes. If you'd like to be a part of tonight's show, you can call us at 347-838-8898, or you can hit the little Skype button at the top of our player at our blog talk radio station, BigDawg Music Radio. So we hope that you're at home, relaxed, with your boots kicked off, sitting in your favorite chair, with your favorite person, and your favorite beverage, and we hope that you'll enjoy the show. I'm your host, Lisa May. And welcome to our show, Off the Hook. It's Saturday night, and tonight we're going to be chatting with the very talented Mr. Jerry Jennings, who will be calling us at 10:15. And we're actually not going to do Afterburner tonight. Your host is not feeling so hot. So we're going to go ahead and play some awesome new tunes that we just received from Mr. Jennings tonight, and have him talk all about his music. And he's also an instructor. He teaches guitar and drums, and he also writes for an e-magazine called Blues E-News, but I will not give away everything and give him the opportunity to share all of his fabulous accomplishments and endeavors. So, as we always do, this is a music show, and we usually like to kick it off with a song, and we happen to have a brand spanking new song by Mr. Buck Allen, who will be one of the artists performing live at CPAC 2014 at the Gaylord National Harbor Convention Center, March 6th through the 8th. And BigDawg Music Radio will be there, so if you can make it, we would love to see you there. Be sure to stop by Radio Row, and our BigDawg Music Radio will be broadcasting with Mr. Rymar Tirado, who was our guest last week, as well as Mr. John J. Publicover, who was our guest the previous week. So we've got some fantastic new talent that's going to be on the air at CPAC. So we're going to go ahead and play this new song by Mr. Buck Allen, and it's called Stand Up for Freedom.
You better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. Take a look around you, what do you see? Freedom's being taken away from you and me. The devil is a dog in the White House now. You better beware of that dog from hell. Taxes are up and people are down. The government's running us into the ground. Crooked politicians are all around. Vote them all out and run them out of town. You better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. There's a war on Christmas, a war on Christ, a war on everything that's right. Like working for a living and pulling your weight here in the United Nanny States. The founding founding fathers are rolling in their graves. The founding fathers would be so dismayed. Political correctness, it just don't pay. Don't you believe what the liberals say? You better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. Better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. Be a patriot and stand up for your rights. Don't be afraid to get in the fight. It's the only way to keep freedom in sight. You gotta stand up for freedom, man. Better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. You better stand up for freedom, man. Why you still got it, why you still can. The government's coming with a big iron hand. You better stand up for freedom, man. You better stand up for freedom, man. You better stand up for freedom, man. You better stand up for freedom, man.
And that was Mr. Buck Allen with a brand spanking new song, Stand Up for Freedom. And it's great to see all of our friends in the chat room. If you are listening to us either at FTR Radio or on our main radio station, BigDawgMusicRadio.com, you can join us at the Big Dawg TV chat room where we have live video streaming. And you drop down to the Big Dawg TV chat. And basically, it's the BigDawg Music Mafia chat room embedded on that page where you can watch the video. You do have to be a member of BigDawg Music Mafia to join us. So if you are listening to the show and you're not yet a member, we invite you to join us. It is free to join. So before we get to our fantastic guest tonight, want to run down a few birthday shout-outs. And there's quite a few, actually. And I have to laugh because the first one, I thought maybe it might be a foreign name. I was like, Ama Jorpain. And I was like, oh, goodness. It was, I'm guessing, a major pain. All one word. So somebody at Big Dawg's name, a major pain. Happy birthday. We also have Chuck Ring, Jim McInnes, Mike Wagons, Natalie Nunez, Phil Dedrick, who is organizing the Defend the Constitution rally, by the way, which is in Waynesboro, Tennessee, in April. We also have Randolph Scott Stewart, Raymond Gwynn, and Scalate, or Scalay? It must be Scalay. It sounds French. And then tomorrow is AJ Anonymous. So happy birthday to all of our fellow Big Doggers. And want to just let everybody know that we are really excited about CPAC coming up. As I mentioned earlier, Buck Allen will be one of the performing artists, as will be Chris Ross, Chip Murray, Michael Marino from Chloe's Open Socket, Anna and John Mix from the band Remnant, Anne Marie Harpin, and Benjamin Nanke. And then on Radio Row, we will have Mr. Rymar Tirado and JJ Publicover. And as of today, one of our Big Doggers, radio host, author, evangelist, Reverend Ken Blanchard, also known as Black Man with a Gun, will be doing a book signing. He has a brand new book called Black Man with a Gun Reloaded. So we're pretty excited. Big Dawg Music Mafia and Big Dawg Music Radio are going to be well represented at CPAC 2014. So if you can make it, we would love to see you there. And real quick, our lineup for tomorrow, we have our inspirational show, Salt and Light from the Right, 30 minutes at 8 a.m. Eastern. That's where we get to share some of our uplifting / inspirational songs and some readings and letters from the Father's heart. from a book, or it's a book by Charles Slagle that takes scripture and puts them in the form of letters as if God wrote them to you. Very great book, and we share those letters every Sunday morning. And then at 9:30 tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern, we have Mr. Trade Martin and Jimmy J with their wacky show, Today in News, Sunday morning funhouse show. Jimmy J has not been feeling well, but apparently he is feeling well enough to join us for the shows, and we are very blessed to have him, and we ask you to keep him in your prayers. And then Tuesday at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, which is Wednesday at midnight, Mr. Trade Martin comes back with his 30-minute news show where he gets to talk about all the hot items in the news, current events, and that sort of thing. I would imagine the Olympics will be a prime topic of discussion this week. And then next Saturday night on Off the Hook, we will be talking to Reverend Ken Blanchard, a.k.a. Black Man with a Gun, so we're pretty excited about that. Real quick shout out to our sister stations, part of the Con Air Radio Network. We have FTR Radio, Traditional American Movement, Free Zone Media Center, Right Stream Radio Network, We Built That Network, and Liberachic.com. And in the interest of getting to Mr. Jennings sooner than later, because we've got some fantastic songs to share, we're going to skip our cool story of the week because Mr. Jennings is our cool story of the week. He's got lots of interesting things to share with us. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and welcome Mr. Jerry Jennings, who on his website is described as having an energy on the guitar that is reminiscent of many of the old school blues rockers, Clapton, Beck, Farner, and Gilmore, while in the chordal realm, he reaches for the less traveled colors. And you can find out more about Mr. Jerry Jennings at his website, which is jerryjenningsmusic.com. And so, welcome to Off the Hook, Mr. Jerry Jennings.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All
just
right.
Fine. And thank you for taking some time out to join us. You are a very, very busy man.
Well, thanks for the invitation.
You bet. Go ahead.
So, was I going to say something?
Well,
I don't know.
I have that's the problem with this live radio stuff. It's like I'll be talking and I'll step on the person that I'm talking to. So pardon. I'm going to say sorry in advance if that happens. Why don't we go ahead and?
Oh, that's it.
Why don't we go ahead and start from the beginning? I believe you started. You got your first guitar when you were 12. Why don't you tell us all about that, your first guitar, and how your love for music developed from there?
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, since I'm 58, that story's a little long, so I'll just tell you that ever since I got out of the Army, music's kind of been all I do. So I do a lot in the instructional realm, writing instruction books and things like that, and performance. I hear a lot of static.
You're hearing static?
And it went away. It just was there for a second. But anyway, and so I'm doing a lot of writing for film and TV now. That's kind of my latest passion. And so I used to play. I pretty much spent the decade of the '80s playing in traveling bands. And I don't really like to go out and do much of that these days. It's just you just kind of feel a little bit, I guess, underappreciated if you do it too much. So it's not like this so much more. But I like to do a lot of recording and writing and like I said, a lot of the instructional books and stuff like that. I have a new one coming out called Triad Magic. This just helps people understand how chords are constructed. It's a problem, actually. Is it just me, or is there a lot of static? Because I'm hearing a bunch of it right now. And let me just try.
Yeah, and you're breaking up quite a bit, too. Are you on a landline or a cell phone?
All right, well, hold on. I'm going to try something different here. Hold on a second.
Okay,
you there?
Yes. Oh, you sound much better.
Is that better?
Oh, yes. What did you do?
Oh, good. All right. Okay, cool.
That's so much better.
Well, I
Definitely.
took the speaker off. I was using the speaker, and I try to get away with that whenever I can, just because I don't like all that radiation by my head. But I figure I'll be all right now for the remainder of the show.
Okay, well, while the songs are
Okay,
playing,
so,
we've got 5 songs to go through, so while the songs are playing, you can give the radiation a rest.
That's right. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. Well, now, so I got with Music Mafia through Mike and Patty Smith. They said, "Hey, man, let's take your song and put it on Music Mafia." And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like all the people, and it's a great place to have my stuff played. And anyway, and so that song was "The Guns of Freedom," and then there's a video of it on there. And so I guess if that'd probably be a good one to start with, since that's the one that's kind of been on there and has the video and everything.
Yeah.
And then I can give you a rundown on the others if you want.
Okay, well, why don't you just tell us a little bit about that? I was reading about how you developed an obsession with freedom. So tell us a little bit what made you write that song.
Well, I mean, my obsession with freedom just goes all the way back to when I was a teenager, and I was a hippie, weed smoking hippie, and I just couldn't believe that there were people that really wanted to legislate away my right to do whatever I thought I wanted to do, and I still think that. Although at the time, well, that was the '70s, and I didn't know any better, and I was kind of a communist and all that. So, but eventually I started realizing, wait a minute, communism can't really coexist with liberty. So at some point I kind of ended up here to where, well, you know, if somebody tries to legislate away any of my rights, well, I'm going to stop them. Exactly. And so that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, I hear you.
And
that's where
anyway,
all of us are.
and that means the right to not have a doctor if I don't want to have a doctor. See, because I've been my own doctor since 1984, and actually before that, really. But my last time actually to a doctor was to get a broken bone mended when I was in Iraq, and that was in 1984. So I always just basically say that's the last time I went, and I don't do doctors, and it's my right. And so naturally, I'm kind of on the warpath right now to get that particular right back.
Amen. So, and first of all, thank you for your service. Did not know that you were a fellow veteran. So our hats off to you for serving.
Cool. So, right on. Well, thanks. That was I was in Germany for a couple of years, and Bamberg.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to all Bamberg. Yeah. Bamberg, Germany. Yeah. No, yeah, that was.
So you were in the Army?
That was a fun time, you know. What's that now? Yeah, Army.
Army, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well,
yeah, not 75 to 79.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, cool.
Well,
it's a little hard. It's a little hard to kind of hear you. Your voice kind of cuts out a little bit, so that's why if I seem a little disjunct, that's probably why.
Okay, I'm really sorry.
Anyway, so do you want? I'm ready to just let you play some stuff, unless you have anything more you want to talk about for a second.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and play "The Guns of Freedom" by Mr. Jerry Jennings.
About our nation and what it means to live among the free. If that makes me a racist, well, then you might want to step away from your TV. The fair and balanced side, the anti-freedom side, they only have one aim, and that is to deceive. In America, I was born free, free to say what I want to say, and I will fire the guns of freedom until they carry me away.
All right, and that was The Guns of Freedom.
Okay.
And we are back
All right.
with Mr. Jerry Jennings. Can you hear me okay, Jerry? Jerry?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay. Just wanted
Yeah, I was giving my brain a break from the radiation there, yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So that's the song I put up there. I guess it was a year ago, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And there's a video for that one.
And it's outstanding.
And thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's I have another couple of songs that kind of make a statement. One is called Weather Manipulation, and it's well, just look up in the sky and you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's a song. It's a song. I actually just named it that. So when I'm writing stuff on my instrumental albums, I'm kind of into jazz rock fusion. That's kind of my main core as an artist, and so just the first phrase that goes to my head when I'm writing a song, that's what the song gets called.
Oh, wow.
So it was an instrumental, and then I sent it to my friend Larry Lopez, who's my friend from the Army. We were playing a bunch of music together over in Germany and stuff, and he, he said, "Oh, okay, I can write something to this." So anyway, that's probably the one that would be fun to listen to next, if you feel like putting it on.
Absolutely. We've got it ready to go.
Okay.
What we normally like to do is get to know a little bit more about you as well in between the songs. So we're going to go ahead and play Weather Manipulation. Okay. When we come back, we'll take just a real quick promo break, and then I'd like to talk about your music lessons that you give and how you go about doing that and how and then there's a bunch of other things actually we'd like to talk about. So we're going to go ahead now and play Weather Manipulation. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it the way we've got it set up. Okay. I don't know if, in fact, if you even were able to hear the last one. You might have been able to hear it initially, but then I switched because I was trying to figure out why you were getting some static, okay?
Okay, got it. Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we'll be back.
I'll just, okay, thanks.
Hey everybody, this is James Cole, singer-songwriter and lover of liberty. I'd like to give a big shout-out to BigDawg Music Mafia. And watch yourself on my site, give me a shout-out yourself, and say hello at www.jameskole.com. See you soon. Keep up the good fight.
When they seize your property, ooh, don't tread on me.
And that was Weather Manipulation by Mr. Jerry Jennings, and the vocalist was
Larry Lopez.
Larry Lopez. I gotta tell you, I could listen to that kind of music all day, all night long. That was fantastic. I mean, and I gotta say that I'm hearing these for the first time because I was getting them and uploading them and didn't have time to actually listen as I was getting them from our producer. And wow, I'm blown away. You know, you've been holding out on us, man.
Well, that song. Well, the instrumental version of that one is on my most recent album. It's called "Shortcut to the Center," and it was produced by Ronnie Montrose, and it came out in like 2006. So if anybody's interested in that, just look for "Shortcut to the Center." And
well, interesting you bring that up.
It's out and around.
I wanted to ask you to talk about how you got to work with Montrose.
Oh yeah, well, the way I ended up in touch with him was I just had a student that was was taking him out trout fishing.
Oh, wow.
And I said, that's who I want to produce my album. So because
awesome.
I had kind of already decided that much, and then he said, okay, well, I'll just see if I'll tell him you're interested in that, and then my friend, his name was Dave, he just said, oh yeah, here's Ronnie's number, man. He said he's looking forward to hearing from you. So that was pretty much it. I called him, and we kind of gelled pretty well, and we just ended up, it took us about a year, but we ended up knocking out the album. And, it was pretty cool. It was good. It was, I guess he's no longer with us. His life came to an end almost a year ago now, I think.
Oh, wow.
But, anyway, yeah, but anyway, I kind of got to know him toward the end of his life, which is pretty cool, anyway. And, well, I don't know what else to add to that, really.
Well, that's really awesome. Now,
but, yeah,
I was reading in your there was an article that was written about you in Vintage Guitar Magazine.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and I was reading where you were wanting to know what happened to smooth jazz, and I asked the same question. I loved listening to Spyro Gyra
right.
and
yeah.
Washington, and
right.
And hearing your music is just like, wow, that's amazing. But give us your thoughts about that.
Well, I mean, I think I think as soon as people start realizing that something's popular, then everybody just wants to kind of jump on it, turn it into something, and turn it into, well, I mean, I got no problem with profit, but I think in a situation like that, there's that whole thing just takes over and the art's gone, right. Well, and just like the examples you just said, Grover Washington, Spyro Gyra, these are guys that I was listening to when I got out of the Army, and I was really digging that whole thing. Lee Ritenour, there was a lot of just really cool, inspired stuff.
Yes.
And then came the smooth jazz stations, and all you could ever hear was that, that saxophone,
right, the Kenny G.
I don't know,
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, Kenny G, Najee, and all these guys, and it turned into, it became the dentist chair music, and I don't know, and nobody had a problem with that, but I guess they do now, because the station here in Sacramento that was doing that went out of business, I guess, probably 5 years or maybe longer than that ago. So, anyway, I guess people finally just started getting sick of it or something.
I don't know.
But
good music is good music, and it's timeless. It should be timeless. And I guarantee, I mean, I would imagine you've got quite a decent following, a decent fan base. Do you do live performing now at all?
I haven't had my band together for about 2 years. I was doing quite a bit of it, and I just I decided to kind of let it rest. You know, just certain things weren't quite lining up the way I wanted. I was ready to record a CD with the band, and one guy was, you know, unreachable, and another guy was whatever, you know, it was just wasn't lining up, and I just thought, you know, I'm just kind of focused on other stuff for a while, and I wanted to get more into writing for film and TV, which the next tune I think you're probably going to play, if I was reading the blog correctly, is Two Parts You. I've been pretty immersed in just writing for film and TV, and my main co-writer, David Bradley, this is another one where I wrote the music, and I actually co-wrote the music with a friend of mine, Steve Stizzo, and then I bounced it off Dave for some lyrics and vocals, and he went for it, and it ended up pretty magical, so I thought I'd kind of throw that into the mix here. Anyway, so I'm ready to hear that whenever you are.
Okay, Two Parts You, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. And when we come back, I'd like to actually talk about the film and TV work. And you mentioned, I saw in your website that you talked about Taxi.com. I looked at that years ago, and I never joined. So let's talk about that when we come back, okay?
Oh, all right, sounds good.
All right, this is Two Parts You by Jerry Jennings.
I need to get from here to there. When she caught me with her eye, I nearly fell and stubbed my pride. She makes me feel that kid again. If there's a number, it'd be 10. I find the perfect mix is 2 parts you and 1 part me. She makes the dice roll as they should, the way this weak man never could. The way she lights a room, the way she makes my heart go.
That was amazing. I love that.
Dang, that's over already? That was fast.
Yeah, well, it was a 2-minute song, 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, that's right. I guess it is kind of a short one. Yeah, and that's when you're writing for film and TV, you kind of go a little shorter on the form and everything. So,
well,
cool.
That's an awesome song. Have you had any bites on it yet?
Well, actually, it's signed to a company on the East Coast that puts stuff in film and TV. So,
oh, great.
But they said, you know, according to the terms of that contract, I can, if I want to actually just go ahead and sell the song on iTunes or whatever, I can still do it and all, which I haven't done, but I'm going to probably get that going before too long here.
Well, you definitely should. Do you have full CDs that you are selling on iTunes?
Oh yeah. Well, I have, you know, the central me, you know, the artist me is, is like a jazz rock fusion. Just, you know, picture Jeff Beck, the instrumental Jeff Beck. I'd say he'd probably be the closest thing to compare me to, or somewhere between that and Satriani or something. But yeah, I have 3 albums. The first one I did in 1992, and it's called The Good Part of a Pencil. Mm-hmm. Then I did one in 2002 called Signs of Humanity, and then I did the one with Ronnie Montrose back in 2006, Shortcut to the Center. Mm-hmm. And that stuff's all on iTunes. Actually, I'm not sure if I did the upload on The Good Part of a Pencil, but I think it's available some places, but the other 2 are available on all the typical outlets, you know, so.
Excellent. Well, so far as you're seeing that our friends in the chat room are digging every bit of your music, and it's also different, you know, from Guns of Freedom to Weather Manipulation to 2 Parts You. All of them, they're different, but they're all equally fantastic.
Well, thanks. I mean, you know, what I pretty much always had in mind was to be more of a composer. I mean, well, in fact, on my albums, my first album was more, the guitar wasn't really featured that heavily, and people always said, you need to get the guitar, you know, out there, and I thought, well, that's just not what I am. I'm kind of more into, I just like to have a cool idea of music, and wherever the guitar fits, that fits. And then in the last album, when Ronnie was producing, he kind of really helped me decide, I guess, to go, okay, this is a guitar album, so be the guitar guy. And so that's kind of the way that one ended up going, was a little bit more guitar centric. But yeah, I mean, as far as influences, I don't know. I've just played in so many types of bands just for a living and stuff that I've kind of developed a lot of, I guess, just styles that I really like and internalize as my thing. And so it's kind of like if you don't like the weather, give it 5 minutes, you know, because it's gonna, the next thing to come out will be something completely different, you know.
That's awesome.
And I think the next album that I do of my own is going to really be that sort of thing, where everything's as far apart as what you're hearing right now. So, but actually, the album I do have like an artist album that I'm working on pretty heavily right now, and that's a Jennings Brothers album, because I have 2 brothers, Gene and Mike, that when I got out of the Army in 1980, we put a band together and wrote a bunch of stuff, and then we had a you know, Till Hell Freezes Over moment, and then, you know, 30 years went by, and we're kind of finally getting things going again. I mean, they've been playing in clubs ever since, and
oh, wow.
and yeah, so they're staying busy in music, but this thing we're doing is kind of like, I think we're pretty much capturing the energy that we had then, but just, you know, with some modern influences in it. And I don't know, it'll probably be 6 months or probably even longer before it's done, but it's come along, and I feel pretty inspired by that.
Well,
that we're able to finally get ourselves together on that, you know.
Well, we look forward to hearing the Jennings Brothers.
Right on.
Definitely. So why don't you tell us about you have a song called "Damn the UN." Tell us what.
Oh yeah, right.
Tell us about that one.
Well, you know, I mean, okay, you know, there's just a question I ask people a lot on Facebook is, you know, what's the highest in our chain of command? It's the President of the United States. There is no higher power than the United States government, President included. And but a lot of the current mindset that people have is that, no, we're a subset of something larger, namely the UN, which is, I can't say the word that I feel for that, about that. But it's like, yeah, it's wrong. It's sick and wrong. So anyway, I just figured, you know, I think "Damn the UN" kind of says what I want to say, and I was kind of excited about this song about 5 years ago, and I played it for Gene, and he said, well, you're just not really getting to the point enough, you know. And so I thought, okay, well, that kind of deflated me, and so it's kind of just been sitting, and I kind of did a little bit of brushing up on, I just did a little bit of tweaking on the EQ before I sent it to you, just because I wanted to make sure it sounded as good as I could get it. But it's just a stereo file that I have from 5 years ago, and I'm probably going to reshoot the whole thing or not. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything with the song, but it's just basically a stray file that I thought I would put out to the Big Dog crowd and see what you guys think. It's definitely what I think about sovereignty and about the UN. Only thing is, if I wrote it now, I'd be using the word Agenda 21 a lot, and I didn't really know about Agenda 21 when I wrote it in the early 2000s. So, so that's that story. And you want to go ahead and let that one roll then?
We'll go ahead and play "Damn the UN," and I already agree with the sentiments without even hearing the song. All right.
All right. Cool. What's that?
I remember being 9 years old. It was a different world then, and my dad tried to teach me what was right, so I could grow up to be a man. Now we live in a different world. You think your kids belong to the state. Bait and switch, the slow degeneration. Damn the UN and all who succumb to it. If you wanna take my rights, well, I'd like to see you do it. Marshall Dillon in the 60s, he was a hero riding high. There was no rule that said he had to be a woman. He just stood up for what was right. Now fast forward to the 80s, when mothers trade away the right to stay at home. Fight or flight, you're about to piss me off now. Damn the UN and all who succumb to it. If you wanna take my guns, well, I'd like to see you do it. Damn the UN, damn the gun grabbers, the ACLU, the friends Satan too. We must remember who we are. We've been conditioned to accept. People thinking for us. The Constitution is only as good as our right to defend it. Damn the UN, damn the gun grabbers, the ACLU, the friends Satan too. Damn the UN and all who succumb to it. Damn the UN, if you wanna get down to it. Damn the UN, if you wanna take my rights. Damn the UN.
You are listening to Big Dog Music Radio. Music for the right side of your brain. Now what am I going to do with my left side?
Damn the UN. I love it. Great song,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah, like my brother said, I do kind of beat around the bush a little bit in that song, and so that's why I kind of put it on the side. I need to be a little bit more direct, so maybe the next one.
No, this is great.
Anyway.
This is great. We are loving your music. I tell you what.
Well,
And the
thanks.
the message is spot on. You know, the funny thing is all the protest songs that we've been writing ever since this administration came into, basically took over our nation's capital. Everything that we said back then, you know, where people were like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of conspiracy theorists and all this other garbage. No, everything that we said was going to happen back then is happening now, and it just getting worse. You know, I've got my theories on, you know, this whole thing about the attack on our power grid in California, something that happened well over a year ago, and suddenly they're all talking about it. You know? It's almost, in my mind, it's almost as if they're trying to prepare us for something. But anyways, you know, that's me putting my tinfoil hat on.
Well, the usual pattern is, first you're nuts for thinking it exists,
right?
But then as soon as they can't deny it anymore, then you're nuts for thinking it matters,
right?
And with no logical step in between. It's oh wait, okay, it's there. Now you're nuts for thinking it matters. You know?
Exactly.
Okay, you know, it's just crap.
It's just a phony scandal, right? All of these things, Fast and Furious, Benghazi, the IRS, all of them, they're all phony scandals. So tired of hearing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways.
Hey, well, what do we have left?
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. I was just going to say we've got about 8 more minutes in the show. We have, well, we only have Rule 14 left of the songs that we received via email.
Okay.
So tell us about that.
That one. Okay, well, that song is also on the 2006 album Shortcut to the Center, and that song, I did a little remix on it since that one since we did it, but it's basically the same song, and it kind of, I think it's probably central to my actual musical style. If you wanted to find something that was like probably the center of what I really gravitate toward. Mm-hmm. And it's an instrumental, and like I said, I got 3 albums that are all instrumental, so I'm big on instrumental stuff. I think that one is pretty representative of I guess, you know, what I'm always shooting to do is get a feeling like this song has across, and so it's just a kind of a good example of just, you know, probably my playing and composing. If I don't have some other agenda and I just want to write something cool, this is it.
Where did the name come from?
Well, like I said, when I'm writing instrumentals, the first thing that pops into my head is what it gets called. So,
that's funny.
You know, fortunately, our daughter didn't get named that way because she'd probably be hating me right now.
That's hilarious. Oh, I love it. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and play Rule 14.
Cool. All right.
that was amazing, Jerry. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely love that kind of instrumental music. You know, if I'm going to listen to instrumental music, that's exactly the kind of music I used to listen to years ago. Like you said, when you know, before the smooth jazz stations, you know, became very
kind of killed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That is
Yeah,
excellent.
cool.
Wow.
Okay.
So we unfortunately we are at the end of the show. We want to say thank you so much for taking some time to spend with us tonight and sharing your fantastic music. And we would love to upload as many songs as you want to send us to be in the rotation in our radio station, which plays 24 hours a day. And
all right.
you know, and
Okay.
we're going to be getting a lot more visibility after CPAC because we are officially sponsoring the entertainment at CPAC. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, we're going to be and we'll be broadcasting on Radio Row. So there's going to be a lot of exposure, a lot of people coming to listen to our radio stations. So we want to definitely have your music in the rotation, and definitely feel free to upload stuff on your BigDawg profile page as well, so we can feature it. Do you have a lot of videos? I know you have the Guns of Freedom video. Do you have other videos?
Well, no, I just have the one video right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I got lots of audio and just one video.
All right. Well, hey, you know, it's awesome music, and again, thank you so much. And we look forward to having you back when the Jennings brothers get together and complete your project.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Well, thanks, Lisa. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Take care and God bless.
Okay. Okay, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, unfortunately, I am not feeling so hot right now. In fact, I'm pretty much burning up down here, which is ironic since I have the air turned off, and it's probably in the low 60s in this house, and I am still burning up. And it might have something to do with how I'm dressed, but we're going to cut the night short. We want to thank all of you who listened in the chat room and at our sister sites and at our main radio station. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show, and thank you all, and we hope you'll tune in tomorrow morning for Salt and Light from the Right at 8 a.m. and then again at 9:30 Eastern for Trade Martin and Jimmy J's Today in News Sunday Morning Funhouse Show. And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Off the Hook here on BigDawg Music Radio. We hope that you've enjoyed the show and look forward to having you join us again next Saturday night, same time, same station, where we'll be chatting with yet another fabulous culture warrior and spinning some more fantastic music by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com. If you don't have any plans, we'd love to have you stick around for our second hour Afterburner, our live listener request show, where you get to pick the songs that we play. Just give us a call at 347-838-8898, and if we have the song, we'll be happy to play it. So until next week, keep your chin up, keep the faith, and keep up the good fight. I'm your host, Lisa May. Good night, Breitbart, wherever you are.